hope we're not rolling it. Will they tell us when we're rolling?
Yeah.
You are watching your award-winning cable access station, Channel 13 and 19, Athol Orange Community Television.
Hello, this is Hattie Nessel, and we are at AOTV, Athol Orange Community Television, and WVAOLP, Athol, 105.9 FM radio. So you can watch this or you can listen to it. The program that we have here is called Save the Planet Updates, and we've been doing this now for quite a long time, and the issue is pretty much the same issue, but it has different aspects to it. We have two guests today, but before I introduce them, I just want to make one observation for people here in the community, that I was at Market Basket yesterday, and I saw more people carrying their reusable bags than I usually do. And in the middle of the store, there's a big display of options, different ones, of reusable bags for sale in Market Basket. I hadn't seen that kind of display before. And then in Job Lot, they are now selling, for the first time, as far as I know, reusable bags. And they're prominently displayed. And that's because we can pat ourselves on the back here. In Athol, we have passed the Ban the Plastic Bag bylaw. And it was almost unanimous. So I just want to let you know that people are not waiting until January 1st to use their reusable bags. They're doing it now, and the stores aren't waiting. They're selling the bags now. So that's the good news. So today we're going to be talking with Frances Crowe and Connie Harvard here. And Frances was just on the front page of not only the Berkshire Eagle for being arrested at the age of 98, trying to stop the pipeline from going into our Article 97 conserved land, but it was international news. So Great Britain picked up the fact about Frances Crowe and her arrest in her wheelchair. And she's going to talk to you about not only why she's gotten arrested and, you know, her deep-seated Quaker background and belief in life is sacred. And Connie Harvard was with her and arrested also. Connie Harvard has on her No Pipeline shirt. You can read that. Frances has on her Stop the Pipeline pin, and then Resist with Compassion t-shirt. And of course, I'm wearing my No Pipeline shirt. And on the back, I say no fracking. So we're all dressed for the occasion. And so I'm going to start with Frances Crowe, and she's going to explain why she risked arrest in her wheelchair, how Connie pushed her over, etc.
Yes, well, I felt I had exhausted my administrative remedies. I had, you know, signed petitions, called my Congress people, written letters to the editor, and nothing worked. And so it was time for me to get down there and say no to the pipeline down next to it. And I couldn't do it without the help of Connie, who is a wonderful young friend. So she pushed me in my wheelchair down the steep hill that wasn't really a path, and large slabs of stone. We got down there. And then the police, 13 state highway patrolmen came to arrest us and to hear why we were there. And when we didn't move as they suggested we should, they arrested us. And then they handcuffed some people, not me, fortunately. And then they walked back up to the top of the hill and left us to find our way up the hill again. You would have thought that if we were under arrest, they would help us get up back to the top to take us to where they would book us, but they didn't. And so a variety of people came forth to help me get up the hill, which was not easy.
And I know that you were charged with trespass and disorderly conduct, and there were 8 people at that particular arrest. I was arrested with 18 people about a month ago now, and then there was another 6 people arrested, so it's kind of an ongoing situation. And Connie, do you want to talk just a little bit about why we would be opposed to pipelines?
But that's pretty obvious why we would be opposed to pipelines. It's we all firmly believe in renewables are the answer, the wave of the future, that even really economic interests are turning to renewables and away from fossil fuels. And whole countries are turning themselves over to renewables faster than we are as a country and getting economic benefit from it. And it's the fossil fuel industry that has a hold on our political structure and has kept us locked into it when most people would agree to the science put forth by the science community. Since the 60s, I believe, we've known that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is harmful. Rising levels will heat up the planet. So people need to pay attention and realize that our time is short.
Thank you, Connie. One thing I want to mention is I had been out there before the trees were going to be cut and then when the trees were being cut. And it was right in the middle of our migratory and nesting bird season.
Yes.
So the birds were in the nests and those 14,000 trees were cut down.
And it's a wide swath
Yes.
that they're cutting through this beautiful, green, lush, pristine.
Article 97 of the Massachusetts Constitution protects that land.
And we know there's Native American sacred sites on that land,
Correct.
Stone sites.
And Frances, I know that you feel that once you get to a certain age of raising your children and your family, then you're free to...
Exactly. You know, people keep saying, but there are no young people here. Well, my grandchildren are busy getting an education, trying to figure out where they can, you know, work, what kind of work they want to do the rest of their lives. They don't have time. And I think often when you're finished college or wherever you've been training, then you don't have the time because you're looking for work and your life partners, perhaps. And so I think it means people who are kind of approaching retirement or are retired are the ones who should be out there putting their bodies on the line. We have finished our other work. Now is the time to really be there, to say no to these horrible corporate pipelines.
Yeah. I read somewhere that there's explosions, methane explosions coming out, which is very detrimental to the environment, you know, every hour somewhere in the country. I mean, and they flare them when they are drilling the wells, and they have to release the methane. They just have to release it.
And I read a story in the paper a day or two ago that the natural gas industry is primed and ready for an increase now in their activity after having a low spell due to the low prices, due to the glut of oil on the market. But our industry is primed to want to go overseas to take advantage of it. And as a country, we must restrain and protect our environment. The fracking, hurting the water in the wells of people. We don't know yet what damage will occur.
I know that the Dakota Access Pipeline, DOPL, they were just doing a test run with the oil, and it leaked.
Yes.
There's no stopping the amount of leaks and the amount of accidents, whether it's by train, whether it's by pipeline. I just read also in Vermont, the pipeline that they were putting in northern Vermont, Chittenden County, was supposed to be 4 feet deep. And they put it in 3 feet deep, not 4 feet deep. And the state didn't do anything. They didn't prosecute them. So you can't even trust them when they're right under our noses putting in a pipeline. You can't even trust them.
And the important thing, I think, is that we have plenty of solar and wind in this state. We could take care of all of our energy needs by wind if they put wind turbines off the coast of Massachusetts. Would take care of all of our needs.
3 times over, I've heard.
Yes.
3 times over.
You know, for the industrial as well as the home, and so that we have lots of solar here too.
We do. We do. And this town, this area, there's a lot of solar going on.
Yes.
And I just read in the Brattleboro paper, they're putting in a huge solar display in a capped landfill, which is a perfect place. 5 megawatts they're putting in. They just got state permit for that. So the people want the renewable energies. And the fact that the town of Athol said no to single-use plastic bags shows you the people want a sustainable energy future. That is for sure. And whether it's by using your renewable bag, your reusable bag, or whether it's by saying no to pipelines, or whether it's insulating your house better, whatever, there's a lot that we can be doing as local people and
to resist.
To resist.
Resist the corporations.
Yeah. And also, politically, our senators, Warren and Markey, wrote to the FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, to say no to that pipeline out there.
And they've asked for them to review
the
environmental thing, and they turned it down.
Yeah, nothing.
And we know FERC is run by the industry itself.
Yeah. Do you want to say one last thing, Frances?
Well, I think follow your own instincts. You know what is right, and do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Frances. Thank you, AOTD.